Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings on planet Earth, wherever you may be, or wherever you may come from. Where are you from? Well, here's my dollar, Sue. I lost the bet, and I am a woman of integrity. I will pay my debt. Sue Smith, fabulous YouTuber. She won the bet, it would appear, so far. Well, I'm not quite giving up hope. I spoke to her earlier. I didn't know that there were pictures of Harry as it arrived with Meghan in New York, apparently ready for the Ripple of Hope Award, for which I was certain he would not turn up. It appears that he is happy to pick up an award for bashing his family, quite frankly. That's the nub of it. That's the essence of it. That's the way I see it. So here's your dollar, Sue. Speaking of Sue Smith, when I spoke to her this evening, I have put a link in the description to her most recent video. Please go and watch it. She talks all things royal, but if you really want to hear about Christopher Bouzy and what he's done to her, go to her 15-minute stamp, the timestamp. That's where she starts to explain how Christopher Bouzy doxed her and put it out there that her son has autism. That's the sort of character that we're dealing with Christopher Bouzy. And as you all know, I don't approve of doxing people at all, really, under any circumstances, not even my own trolls that I've had in the past. The Daily Mail and other newspapers, I could say more, but I'm not going to, because I think it might spoil the surprise. But just take heart, everybody. Yes, they're looking. Yes, they're investigating. Yes, they're paying attention. So watch this, but well, maybe not watch this space, but just generally within the community, keep an eye on that. I see Christopher Bouzy tweeting today something along the lines of "hold off Daily Mail," because there's already been an article in the Daily Mail, but there's more to come, as I suspected would be the case, having had dealings with them and other newspapers myself. He sort of tweeted, "Oh, you know, I was only being sarcastic." Now, as welcome aboard all new subscribers, but as a lot of you who followed me for a long time will know, I've had a big history with the newspapers. I'm just looking at a mosquito on the wall, but at the moment he's not bothering me, so I'll leave him to it. The British press can be vicious, Bouzy. They can be. It's no good saying, "Oh, I was just joking, I was just being sarcastic," and hoping all will be forgiven. They are ferocious. And actually, in mine and Graham's case, I have to say, the British press were reasonably nice considering the circumstances of our story. They were really quite, I would say nice about it. If anything, they sort of billed us as a pair of superheroes in some weird respect. So, Bouzy, after I have watched, I don't do Twitter, but I've been checking up on your Twitter account over the last 12 months, well, since October last year, when you first came to my attention. I've been monitoring your tweets. They've been vicious. They have been cruel. You have made certain YouTubers' lives a misery, namely Sue Smith, Murky Meg, according to Taz, and of course, Yankee Wally. And Sue told me tonight how alone they felt before. Not that all you subscribers and viewers haven't been there with them, but that nobody in sort of authority has really helped, paid attention, or done anything about it. And I guess a lot of you guys out there have felt really helpless. I know I, as a viewer and a YouTuber, have felt helpless against what's going on with Christopher Bouzy. And if it does turn out, I mean, he's participating in the Netflix drama, right? That's not necessarily hard evidence that he has been paid by Harry and Meghan. So I'm still thinking, well, you know, I mean, maybe he's just benevolent. Maybe he did it of his own volition. I seriously doubt it, but maybe. You all know me by now. I like to be absolutely certain and factual. So if it turns out that Harry has been, or Meghan, Sunshine Sachs, there's any financial connection, then that means that all the time they've been talking about wanting to make the world a better place, wanting to reduce the toxicity, kindfulness, mindfulness, compassionateness, and all the other weird words she uses. If it comes out, and I've said this more than once, that she has been paying a professional troll, and that is how I see Christopher Bouzy. He is a professional troll, and he certainly will be the case if it comes out. He's been paid. He's not been doing this of his own benevolence, an act of philanthropy, right? If it comes out that they have been paying him, well, that's disgraceful. That's absolutely disgraceful. I suspect that is the case, but I don't know for sure. So the press, they're going to eat him alive. I've already seen articles in the Express, and I saw the comments, and the Express article was like, here's this gentleman, he has a company called Bot Sentinel, let's introduce him, who is Christopher Bouzy. And the comments section was like, why you go so easy on Christopher Bouzy? Why you go so... trust me, I know the British press. That's where it begins. That's just little piranha nibbles. That's playing. I've seen the British press. They are cutting to the bone. They will strip the bone. And I sincerely hope they never forget the case of Yankee Wally, a lovely Welsh lady in her 60s who lives alone with her cats, who told me, and I think she said it on video as well, she actually had nightmares about the things Christopher Bouzy was doing to her. It was awful, awful to watch. Harry says in the trailer, how did it come to this? Or how did we arrive at this? Or something along those lines. Well, Harry, and I know he'll never see this video. I can explain where it came to this for me. It was nothing to do with Meghan's skin colour. I actually thought, like millions of other people, how wonderful. The major thing for me was she's a divorcee. How lovely that the Queen is the head of the Church of England. Finally, it's a forgiving, kind and nice society. I actually thought American Grace Kelly, she's probably going to be loads of fun. Her and Harry will be in the naughty corner all the time. They're always getting things wrong, but everybody will love it. They'll be a pair of lovable rogues. I thought she looked divine. I thought she was sort of along the lines of sort of Julia Roberts, Andie MacDowell kind of a character, happy Californian lady. And then I saw the engagement interview. And having had one or two nasty experiences myself with people of that sort of character, red flags were going up left, right and centre for me. And then I kind of walked away from it. I wasn't really interested. I just thought, I see a problem. And then it wasn't for about a year later, I watched the wedding, and then I sort of got into it and watching Wally. But Archie had been born by the time I started watching Wally, I think. I'd been watching Ashley and Taz before that. And they are excellent YouTubers. Taz is an excellent YouTuber. I've never heard her say anything racist. I've never heard her say anything bitchy. I've never heard her say anything nasty. And again, I see Christopher Bouzy trying to bill her as a troll, basically, and she is nothing of the sort. Neither is Murky. These are like unofficial royal commentators. They are very analytical. They go through things and they do it in a very nice way, and I enjoy them because I find them more entertaining, that they go into more detail about the royal family than actual royal commentators who are probably highly, highly restricted. So again, and the problem is, people who follow Christopher Bouzy on Twitter, or people who watch this documentary, if he mentions people like Taz, Murky or Wally, a lot of viewers just blinkedly go, oh, that's it. You know, someone goes on the TV, someone goes on YouTube and says, this person's a racist. A lot of viewers go, oh, okay, they're a racist, bastard. You know, you see it in the comments section. You, viewers of mine, I know are hugely analytical. And I've often said, don't take my word for it. I get things wrong. I might be full of shit. Go and double check what I say. And you are not the kind of people, if I were to come on here, for example, and say, oh, I just saw, I don't know, some dude doing something inappropriate, I think a lot of you would say, "Are you sure, Fiona?" rather than go, "Oh, you said so, so that's a fact." I think that's the way to fight misinformation and disinformation. But to answer your question, Harry, if you, and I say if you in the general term, not you, Harry, if a person with staff or colleagues talks to them like shit, they might go home upset and talk to their wives, husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, children and say, "I've had a rough day at work. They spoke to me like I was dog shit." And then those people who loved them go on things like Reddit and Quora. That's where the leaks have come from. Now, your mother, Harry, was lovely to everybody in the staff because she was born into aristocracy and she knew you don't make enemies of the staff. So I think if you start looking there, you might find some answers to your questions. He also says, "Oh, the family has a hierarchy." Well, surprise, surprise, Harry, most families do. I went to St Mary's Hall and we had 6 Ghanaian princesses at St Mary's Hall. None of them were related to each other. They were all from different royal families. And yeah, they had hierarchy in their family. There's a hierarchy in my family. When my mother died, we planned her whole funeral, except the moment the limousines turned up, me and my sisters and all our families are looking at each other, and both my sisters said, "Yikes, who goes in which limousine?" So I said to my eldest sister, you're the eldest, you and your family in the first one. My next eldest sister, you and your family in the second one, and me and my family in the last one, because that's the order of precedence. And take it a stage further, Harry. It's the royal family, of course. There's an order of precedence. Don't go to that thing tonight, Harry, and that's not because I give a shit about $1. Don't go to it. Feign illness. I pray he does see this, because I think if he goes to that Ripple of Hope award tonight, I don't think there'll be any coming back for him. I think the Netflix documentary, let's not forget, that would have been filmed months ago, and he may have changed his mind or opinion, but once it's in the can, it's in the can. But tonight is live, and if you go to that Ripple of Hope award, I really think you'll be lost. I dread to think what your mother would say if she saw what's going on. That the situation with you and Meghan is nothing like Diana. It's nothing like it. And what you're doing, actually, is you're making people not like your mother. And that really upsets me, because I love Princess Diana. And you're making her really unpopular the more you liken Meghan to her. It's like you're blinded by Meghan, and everyone else on planet Earth can see what's going on except for you, Harry. And that's tragic. That is truly, truly tragic. Anyway, Ripple of Hope hasn't happened yet. Still hanging on to my $1. Still hanging on to a glimmer of hope that perhaps Harry will do the right thing. Who knows? Thoughts, opinions, as always. Everybody have a fabulous evening, and don't forget to dress up, because even if you're not going anywhere, it's important to dress up and have a little bit of fun in life. Have a good evening, and thank you for listening.